So the next episode, episode 15, Into the Dank. This is the sewer level.
That's the third most funny one. Into the Dank.
This was also the one, like, I once again hammered home the bureaucracy thing, because even to get into the sewers, you had to go through a bunch of bureaucracy.
Yeah.
But by the time of the third session in the city, anytime we saw a person, CliqClaq is just holding up his papers. Like, oh, a person made eye contact here.
And later on in the session, I made the conscious choice. I had to stop myself a little bit. You speak with a goblin chieftain, and I had to stop myself from, like, papers, please. Who are you? Show me your papers.
We're expecting.
They probably just piss on him. Freaking goblins.
This was also the introduction of another one of your sort of like hireling side characters, of which, you know, you picked up a list.
Sugarloaf.
Yep, Trapsbringer Sugarloaf. The most annoying, hyper-confident rogue.
Clearly a gnome.
I mean,
Halfling.
I would be that hyper-confident if I was that good, too.
You can still not get about it.
They could. Why?
The entire time, I was just actively not shooting him in the face.
Well, it's good that you didn't, because I didn't know, again, like, I didn't know how it was going to go for you guys without a rogue. In setting, there was a reason they mentioned, like, you should maybe pick up a moonlighting engineer, but I didn't know if you were going to do it. And if you didn't, there would have been a much, you might still be in the sewer. Like, we might be on episode 26, still in the goddamn sewer. It's still the sewer level.
Episode 35, we're all gonna die down here.
Episode 36, death is not the end. Fuck.
Episode 37, back to the library. Ghost form.
It did make this one a dungeon run versus a dungeon crawl. Like, you didn't have to go room by room and disarm traps because your rogue was super on it. You spent the money; he was worth it. And it got you to some of what I thought was the interesting stuff, which was the goblin tribes. Again, not knowing at all how you guys were going to work this, whether David was going to make his tracking rolls, whether what you guys were going to go to the brood mothers and try to negotiate or something. I had no idea what you're going to do in a sandbox. So I had the broad sketches of these tribes figured out. The Goblin Hunter tribe, which is always has their eye on adventurers, specifically because adventurers always come down and fuck up the goblins, and then they can go in and hit them a second time. And that's what they thought they were going to be doing, by the way, in the encounter that got set up in this session. The goblin cannibals.
Goblin Reavers. You made Goblin Reavers. And I was just, like, thoroughly impressed with the idea of Goblin Reavers and a little terrified. Like, I think that Serenity sort of killed the Reavers a little bit for me. They were less terrifying after Serenity.
Right.
It always piss out a bit when you explain them.
Yeah, it's like a joke.
Same thing happened with Darth Vader.
Right.
He was cooler without the backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why must I know the name Anakin Skywalker?
Right.
The way this episode kind of went, like with your negotiations with the chief, and then the reveal of with Perdius, was like, oh fuck, he was a goblin the whole time. God. And
Yeah.
like goblins, to me, so they don't take an intelligence dip in 5th edition. They are cunning and vicious and just generally unpleasant. Anything a human thinks is gross. The goblin is like, more of that, please.
Yeah. And the cure, part of the cure being goblin urine was an interesting choice.
I think Struana just straight up pretended she didn't hear it. She's like, I didn't hear that. Not even
Here,
going
we
there.
should drink this.
My reasoning was that goblins live on putrescence and filth, and so that is what they digest, eat, and that's what's filtered out, so that once it's filtered and so the antibodies are in there or whatever magical hoojum. I don't know exactly how much science exists in this world. I don't know if there's germs and antibodies.
There is
his
no-
name.
I assume
Well,
you're
I-
thinking, well, this is gross. I'm gonna put it in.
Pretty much,
Would it-
just
It
anything
would
I
be
could
kind
make
of-
that character obnoxious.
It would be kind of great in your world if a goblin is able to create the cure for the thing by putting the thing inside of them. Like, they eat this pustule, they're able to pee out the antibiotics for it or something. Like,
That would commodify goblins. So you know.
Yeah. would commodify goblin piss. Like, they are free peoples, right?
In this city, no, they don't have citizenship. They're not welcome up above. That was part of why Pervious in this episode, why he had to pretend to be human, was he could not charge for this. He had he has no rights above the surface. And really, he doesn't even have any rights below the surface. It's just that there's fewer people coming down to enforce them. You come out and massacre a tribe of goblins, people clap. I mean, it's a
Also,
story.
his name being Pervious, like, what the shit, man? Oh, we lost David.
He'll be back.
His
have
name
to.
being Pervious made me think of the Monty Python bit where he's saying biggest dickus, making the... Yeah, okay. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I was waiting for dick jokes with it.
So that wraps up the Into the Dank episode. Our next episode was Cannibals, Bear Puns, and a Bane Goblin. So the tribe you guys were in was like underneath the library and had access to basically like the student crafted, potion manufacturing drainage. And they themselves had learned to do potions and things. So I got to make a really fun custom golem that was just like they turned the switch and like 3 rounds of foreshadowing. It was really fun to watch you guys like, oh God, what's coming out of the pit?
Yeah, that's terrifying.
So this was an almost entirely a combat episode. Like it was some insanity, a whole bunch of chaos. 3 levels on a goblin makes a big damn difference. Just so you know, if anybody ever asks. In 5th edition, especially because that's where they hit that whatever special path they're taking. So the 2 tribes you had, one of them had the Eldritch Knights that were the guards. They were pew 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 and had a lot of defense. And then it was barbarians with a warlock boss.
Oh yeah.
Right, that warlock bugbear that just would not stay down. Not stay down.
We split the party again.
Yes, you did split the party again. Almost to catastrophic effect, although a whole bunch of summoned bears tipped the balance on that end. That was Right? But splitting the party meant their party split as well. And so it was only like 2/3 the horde of goblins that charged the rest of the party, because a bunch of the ones in back got tied up with Crab Ranger and his bear commando team.
And bear puns.
Mm-hmm.
So many bear puns.
It was so good.
Or some major distraction.
But that fight had a lot in it. I mean, there were a lot of really fun, interesting moments when finally the Bane Golem was revealed, or the Bane Goblin was revealed, and you guys got to. I mean, because it was really a random element in the field. He wasn't friendly to any units. It was just one whole faction of units knew it was coming.
It had sort of a chain control.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah, it was chained to the ceiling so that it could only go through like certain paths. But again, like, I didn't know. Maybe you guys break the chain. Could all sorts of things could happen.
I did like that it was we were sort of in the middle of negotiations, and then a war broke out between the tribes. Right? And that was one of the reasons we didn't have to kill all of them, was because they were also distracted killing each other and trying to rein in the Bane Goblin. And we just like walked out eventually.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
like, fuck it, let's take the guy out of here.
Once the barbarians had thoroughly lost, you had slain their warlock and their numbers were just decimated. The other tribe turned on you. They rightly assumed that this was all your fault, that you had disabled all the traps on the way in, and that the Reaver goblins knew that adventurers do that and usually come in and kill goblins, and that because you were there, you brought the Reavers.
Just unlike the crew of Serenity, we didn't feel terrible about leaving them behind.
Not terribly so. This was also in the loot of that session where the Finger of Portent appeared, which has been an interesting plot device for me since then. I like sentient weapons.
I am a talking wand. You like sentient weapons, and every gamer goes, "Oh shit, this is a problem. This is just."
Yeah, he even called it out in the session. He's like, "Talking weapons are never good." And this is
always evil.
Not always.
The one time they weren't evil was Mary Poppins.
Bedknobs and broomsticks.
Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra sword.
Hmm?
So, talking weapons are not always bad, even though to attune to it, it did a whole bunch of psychic damage to you.
And now it's starving me. And I figure you just put that in because I'm eating all the time during a game.
No, random. I random rolled it.
Well, it works. Totally works.
Yep, I just decided I was going to put in a powerful item. I random rolled it. The Finger of Portent is what came up. Once again, I have none of this planned. I just grab random things and figure out how they fit. And surprisingly, somehow I maintain a sliver of internal consistency.
That's
so once again, your high dollar rogue paid off as he went through the back way and found the way out that you didn't have to fight through. And from there, you got to go split the loot. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, we had to go turn
Yep.
in a chunk of it and sell a chunk of it and
Oh,
go through
before
more
that
paperwork
happened,
bullshit.
we got to the
Yeah.
next session before any of that, which was surprising turns and tentacles.